from OMG Cakes and Desserts. And today I'm going to show you how to make my peach cobbler. I actually learned this recipe from my mom when I was about 12 years old. It's a very easy recipe. It's so simple. And I know some of my fans will love to have this recipe. They rave about this recipe all the time, and people are always asking me for this recipe. So I'm going to get started. What you're going to need is you're going to need a stick of butter, one about 15-ounce can of peach filling, a cup of milk, a cup of sugar, a cup of self-rising flour, not all-purpose, self-rising flour. Now I use also a teaspoon of vanilla and a teaspoon of cinnamon. Those things are optional, but I just use them because it gives the peach cobbler a little bit more flavor. So the first thing that you want to do, you want to make sure that you preheat your oven to 350. And then you're going to make sure that you have a bowl and a whisk and a pan. This is actually a 2.75 quart Pyrex pan, but you can also use a loaf pan. And the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to open up my butter. And you want to use salted butter, not unsalted butter. And the salt in the butter actually helps to enhance the flavor of the peach cobbler. So you're going to take your butter and you're going to put it in your pan. And then what you're going to do, you're just going to sit your pan in the oven. And what you're doing is you're going to let your butter become brown. So I'm going to sit my pan with my butter in it in the oven. Okay, so meanwhile, while that's melting, let me tell you a little bit about the science of it. Butter actually has milk solids in it, and milk solid is what's going to makes the butter have a low smoke point. So that means that the butter could actually burn faster, but we don't want the butter to burn. We want that butter to actually get a little brown, and that helps with the nuttiness of flavor that's going to help to also enhance the peach cobbler flavor. So some people kind of skip this step, but I think it's very important to have that that little browning in your butter. But you don't want to get too brown because you don't want the butter to burn. You just want a little bit of browning in your butter, and I'll show you how that looks later. But we're going to go ahead and get the filling and the pastry part done. So what I got is a bowl here, and I'm going to add my 1 cup of self-rising flour. Okay, get all that in there. 1 cup of sugar. 1 cup of milk. See how easy this is? 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of milk. It is so simple. I mean, how could you mess this up, right? And then what I'm going to add, like I said, I like a little bit more flavor in mine, so I'm going to add my teaspoon of vanilla and my teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay? Now we're going to whisk all this together, getting all the lumps out. You can also add your cinnamon to your peaches. But I like for it to be in the filling. I mean, in the batter. My husband's helping me. All right, so as you can see, I'm getting it all whisked together, getting all the lumps out. Can you see? All right. And so now at this point, we're just going to set this aside, and we're going to wait for our butter to brown. And once that brown, I'll take that pan out of the oven and show you what that looks like, and then we can go ahead with the next process. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I have taken my butter that I browned in the oven at 350 out of the oven, and it, as you can see, it's brown. Some of the butter has browned in the pan. So you want it to be brown, but you don't want it to be burnt. So that was the key, just have it brown a little, but not burnt. So as you can see, there's some browning in the pan. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add our batter. And what's going to happen is that we're going to get this all in here first. And just to recap, we have flour, sugar, milk, cinnamon, and vanilla. And then the next thing that we're going to do is layer our peaches into the pan. And you just want to make sure that the peaches are kind of spread it out a little bit throughout the pan. You don't want them to be just like in one clump somewhere, like in the middle or whatever. But I try to like spread them out in the pan as well as the sauce from the filling. Some people tend to like just the batter, the batter once it's baked up, and a little bit of juice from the peaches. For some reason, I personally like the peaches in the peach cobbler, but Tamara Rainey likes the batter. That's my shout out to Tamara. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm getting all this in here. I'm going to get a close up of this. Got all my peaches in there, get all that sauce in there. Okay, now what's going to happen is as this bakes, the self-rising flour is actually going to rise, and it's going to rise over the peaches, and it's going to cause a nice brown covering over the peaches, and it's going to be so beautiful and so nice. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this back in the oven. It's going to bake for like 45 minutes on 350, and then I'm going to take it out. We're going to have us a nice brown beautiful peach cobbler. So I'll be back again. Back. We have taken the peach cobbler out of the oven and let it cool for about 10 minutes. We did let it bake for about 45 minutes on 350. So what I'm going to do now is take it, I'm going to scoop some out, get some ice cream and some caramel syrup, and make some dessert for me and myself. So I'm going to take this scoop. You got crunchy, that sounds, that's that crust, those peaches. Oh, that looks good. And don't forget, the ingredients were 1 cup of flour, self-rising, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of milk, a stick of butter, and a can of peach filling. Ice cream out here, because ice cream peach cobbler is so good warm with ice cream. While I'm scooping this, I want to give a special shout out to Bobby Shannon. You now have the recipe. Sugar on top. And there you go. Peach cobbler. Made the way my mama taught me. Enjoy. I know I will. Bye. It's so good. Oh my God. Oh my God.